current events, the U.S. national team coming off of 2 losses, one against Japan, one against Saudi Arabia. Both saw really, really bad performances. I think not even a shot on goal, or maybe 2 shots on goal.
I mean, I saw the scores. I didn't watch the game per se. I haven't been impressed with the U.S. I know like a lot of people that don't like my comments and stuff, but I haven't been impressed by the U.S. national team performance in quite some time now. For a little while, they had, a glimpse of hope.
Yep.
I think after the Landon Donovan era, there was other figures that came around, but it wasn't the same. Can't call it caliber. It wasn't the same energy or the way the team came together on the field. They didn't have that one player that could step on the pitch and put the team on his shoulder.
Yeah. Dempsey. Dempsey.
Yeah, but you need more than that. It has to be more around. I don't expect much.
I don't think anyone does.
I don't think too many people expect much.
A lot of people don't expect the U.S. to get out of the group stage, which comes off of qualifying for the World Cup. And I think their last game in qualifying they lost, right? I think it was 2-0 versus Costa Rica or something like that. They
Maybe,
came off a loss.
I don't recall exactly, but I mean the one thing you got to remember about the World Cup is not what brings you to the World Cup is who picks in mid-November through mid-December, which team peak. Because you have a lot of teams that then they don't look that great. I mean, let's recall Uruguay 2010.
Yeah.
Uruguay was the last team to qualify.
Yeah.
We barely qualified. We had to go to playoff against Costa Rica. We won 1-0 in Costa Rica. Came back home, think, okay, we're through. We already beat them away. Easy game. We tied 1-1 in Uruguay. And Costa Rica almost won the game with like 3 minutes left. The shot went maybe 5 inches wide of the post. Had it gone in, Costa Rica would have won the away goal difference. They would have won by that. And yet Uruguay was the last team to qualify and barely made it, but they came together in June. They put a good squad together. The players believed in each other, support each other, and Uruguay went all the way to the semifinal.
Third place.
We finished fourth.
Fourth? Okay.
Fourth place, but we're 1 goal away from finishing third and 1 goal away from being in the final. Both the semifinal game was 3-2 against Holland.
Yeah.
Very controversial, game. And then as 3-2 against Germany in the third place game. So I'm giving you one example right there. And then you have other teams that come being the heavy favorites. Like for instance Colombia in '94. Colombia was a heavy favorite to win the World Cup. They didn't even come out of the group stage. They had won so many games, and this and that, and then they lost 1 game in the group stage, and they were like, "Oh my God, how do they recover from this?" And then they play U.S. and they lost another game.
Also,
they were out.
Also, it's a fucking tournament.
It's a tournament, so
it's kind of
one team. Everybody's talking about Argentina right now, how they favorite, but I don't see them as favorite because they're like I believe it's 34 game winning streak. Which is the best current winning streak for any national team. But all it takes one mistake, and how does your team mentally recover from that? They don't know because they haven't lost yet.
Yeah.
Some teams lost. They've been on a winning streak, and then they lost a game recently, right before the World Cup, and that's good because it gives you a time to test, yourself, okay, before the next game, how you gonna recover mentally, how you gonna be focused on the World Cup. But Argentina right now, we don't know if they have it mentally what it takes to recover from a loss. So nobody knows that.
U.S. has nowhere to go but up if they come together.
U.S. they have nothing to lose. Nobody is expecting it, much from them. Yeah, there might be some die-hard fans that believe they're gonna be finishing the top 4. Everybody has their dreams and fantasy. Everybody has their right to have those dreams and fantasies. That's fine. But realistically, it's going to be as hard or harder than it was for Uruguay in 2010. The way they've been performing. And not just in the friendly games, but before that, So it's going to be a very interesting World Cup, and I think this might turn out to be the best World Cup ever, for many different reasons. First, it's played at a different time of year, which the players they should be in their prime, because they're now coming off of a long season in which they're physically tired already from playing 9 months straight, and then they have to go and play another 4 weeks, at least another 7 games, and then make it all the way to the final. But also because they won't have to deal with a travel issue to go play one game here and then have to take a 5-hour flight to another state or another city to play the next game and have to recover from that flight in 3 days.
It's all in one area.
The furthest stadium is 3 hours away.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
So everything is in one city, basically.
Concentrated.
Everything's in Doha, pretty much.
Yeah.
And it's going to be fun for the fans as well. I'm going to go there as a fan.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be excited because now, in the past World Cups that I've gone to, I get to see the fans of the team I'm supporting, which usually has been either Uruguay or United States, or sometimes I got the Korea tickets, through my friend. So I was there supporting Korea, even though it wasn't my team of choice.
Yeah.
But so I get to see the fans from the team that I'm seeing, plus the fans from the team that we're playing against, and then we may see the fans the day before too that were there in that city for the game that just finished a couple of days before. There might still be some fans around, and then the day after the game that I'm watching, you'll see some fans for the next game that are arriving to town. So at the most, you might get to see fans from 6 countries in that one city, and then you go to another city and you might see 6 other countries, or 5 other, because one of them you already see them because they're the same fans that from the team that you're following. But that's going to be about it. How many games you get to see. There's no guarantee you're going to see fans from all 32 teams. Now in this World Cup, everybody's going to be in the same city, pretty much. So you might run into a Moroccan fan, you might run into an Argentinian fan, to a Belgian fan, into a British fan, USA fan, Mexican fan, you name it. You got to run, because everybody's going to be concentrated, in Doha, basically.
Yeah.
So that's going to make it more fun, because then you get to see all the different cultures, how everybody, the different ways that people embrace, the sport in their culture, that we never got to see in other World Cups. Maybe the only other World Cup that got close to that was the first one in Uruguay, because most of the games were in Montevideo. There was only very few games that were outside of Montevideo, but then those teams end up coming to Montevideo anyway, so they got to see that. But their numbers wasn't 32 nations back then. It wasn't as big as it is now. But so that thing, and the fact that the teams don't have to travel, don't have to keep moving, to a different location to train. Wherever hotel and training facilities they start with, it's going to be the same ones they finish with.
Oh, interesting.
So that's going to be great, because they don't have to keep picking up and moving and go to a different city. In some places, the climate is different. So let's say like a World Cup in the United States. Let's say your team, has to play in Denver. Now you have to deal with the altitude that. Last week you were in New Jersey, you have to deal with the altitude, but you might have to deal with the humidity that New Jersey have, or maybe you have to play in Miami, that's a lot hotter, or you have to move, somewhere else that might be, different climate also. You won't have to deal with it. Everybody's going to have pretty much the same climate. Yeah. They don't have to readjust or anything. So I think that's going to make it good, for the players. The only thing the teams have to worry about now is injuries that they might suffer on the way to the World Cup playing for, for the club teams.
So your pick to win it is?
Hard to say. I don't see a favorite. I don't see a clear favorite for this World Cup. Especially the way the groups came out. This is the most balanced World Cup ever. If you look at all the groups, Group A through Group F, there's no easy group, and there's no group of death. They're all very well balanced. Yeah, there's a Cinderella in every group.
Usually by this point, people would be talking about a group of death. But there isn't.
Usually they talk the group of death the day of the draw.
Yeah.
the easy group and the group of death. They talked about that the day of the draw. There's no group of death.
Yeah.
And the only group of deaths is the one that Italy is in, that Chile is in, that Colombia is in, or whoever else I'm forgetting, that didn't qualify. That's about it. That's a group of death, but
they're not even there.
Exactly, but all the groups are pretty much even. One might be slightly tougher, slightly easier. That's about it, So being from Uruguay, yes, I'm rooting for Uruguay, and I hope they make it all the way to the final. And I see they have pretty good chance. They have a good squad, but we have Ghana, we have South Korea, and we have Portugal. That's why all those three teams, they want revenge, because we beat Korea and we beat Ghana in 2010.
Yeah.
In the second round, in the knockout stages, and this last World Cup we beat, Portugal in the knockout stages also. So they all want revenge. But even if they didn't want revenge, they're no pushovers.
Yeah.
People say, oh yeah, Korea, they're from Asia. So just because they're from Asia doesn't mean they're easy. They play a very dynamic style, very different, that, we play in Uruguay. Same thing with Ghana, is a very different style. Portugal, I don't even have to say anything. I mean, you guys know the type of players that they already have. They play in all the top European leagues. So it's not easy.
And Cristiano's going to be coming out of the bull rings.
Well, you got Cristiano, you got Cavani, you got Suarez.
Yeah.
Maybe Godin might get some playing time. Yeah, so you have a lot of aging players that this is going to be the last hurrah, just like Messi. Same thing with Messi, and same thing with others. It's going to be a very interesting and special World Cup, and I think it's going to be a very good one.
Nice. So. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this World Cup, especially with our own project kind of being the timing coming out at the same time. I can't believe you're going. It's going to be awesome. So is Tom, huh?
Sometimes I can't believe I'm going either until I actually land and see a camel.
Have you been to this neck of the woods before or no?
Have I been where?
Have you been to the neck of the woods before or no? Never been to the Middle East?
No. Yeah, it's been on my bucket list. Yeah. I like to see the whole world. I've been to every continent already except Antarctica, but never been to the Middle East.
Been to every continent. Interesting. Awesome. So if everything looks like everything, wishful thinking, 2026, we have a new stadium built. It's almost soccer specific, where Aloha Stadium is now. It has condos around it. It has plenty of parking. It holds 30 to 35,000 fans. Could we sustain a USL team there? Do we have a USL team there right now?
Well, could we? Always possible, right? But I think it's good. I mean, we're trying to put Makani FC in the map, with NISA, and we have a lot of obstacles,
Oh yeah.
To get there,
1.25 million obstacles. Yeah.
The obstacles for USL, there's a lot more obstacles, for USL, and those obstacles are mainly financially.
Yeah.
The financial requirements are a lot higher than NISA.
Yeah.
Even stadium capacity has to be higher. Everything. There's it's kind of like saying, okay, we'll bring an MLS team here. Not quite the same, but it's almost like saying that. The requirements are needed.
For USL, the minimum requirements for USL are 5,000. So we meet that with this soccer complex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. But with other prerequisites with USL, there's a lot to it. I mean,
on the financial side, especially.
The annual payment to USL, the franchise fee, which I believe is $10 million. That's pretty much.
Yeah, it's pretty substantial.
Yeah.
It's hard for investors to come in and see making that money back.
Yeah.
Even in the next 5-10 years, it's not gonna be easy. But there are some markets and stuff that they see that, okay, I'll make that back in no time.
Yeah.
Here in Hawaii, I would love to say, yeah, it's that easy in Hawaii as well, but it's not. Unfortunately, it's not. We don't have the soccer culture, that other places have. And we've seen that in the past, like I mentioned the last podcast about the Pan Pacific Cup, Pacific Rim Cup, or they had 3 or 4 different names. Since they started it, they were pulling teeth to get 10,000 people. In their seats, and that shouldn't be the case for a state, a city that doesn't have a professional team. People should be dying to go when a professional team comes. We got to change that mentality. If we can change the mentality, it's going to benefit, Makani FC big time. And if Makani FC helps change the mentality of the player, it will benefit a USL team coming to Hawaii. Or it could be Makani FC becoming USL in that case. We don't know. But we got to change the mentality on the sports fan.
Kind of like player. We're creating not so much we're creating a professional soccer team. We have to create a professional soccer team culture.
Professional environment.
Professional environment.
In and out of the pitch.
Yeah.
It
has to be.
And we got to talk. The media has to get involved.
Yeah.
Because the local media doesn't cover soccer that much.
At all.
I mean, remember when we got, the Stella Nojima came here, the number 3 team from Japan, and they played the Hawaii Select team.
That was a Division I J League team.
Yeah.
Women's.
The first time ever a professional women's league game got played in Hawaii.
And that was played at the complex.
At the complex. And we had, even though I sent tons of emails and made a few phone calls, we got zero coverage.
But the stadium was pretty packed. Interesting.
Yeah, and we still got pretty, decent number of people that day.
Yeah.
It was a fun crowd.
Yeah.
But imagine if the media had supported us and been behind it. You would have had people complain that they couldn't get a seat at the stadium, and that's a good thing to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But 2026. I love to see Hawaii on the map. At least with Makani FC already going on, and
some kind of
hopefully the talks of USL coming are still strong, that we can support 2 teams. That'd be optimal.
That would be interesting.
But we were just talking about the QATAR World Cup, and now we go 2026 as the US World Cup. We're going 2 opposite extreme. One World Cup is going to be played in a place like this, and the other World Cup is going to be the biggest, geographical,
area,
distance. 3 countries going east coast to west coast, and also going south and north. That's going to be a lot of traveling for a lot of the players. A lot of traveling.
Because they're playing both in the U.S. and Mexico, correct?
And Canada. 3 countries.
Wow. That is a large geographical footprint to cover. Huh.
Yeah.
So hopefully, something will be started by 2026 here in Hawaii. Guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently with USL, on that meeting, on the conference call, it seemed like there was a group of investors that has already been talking to USL. They haven't applied yet. They couldn't get into specifics, but they're already breaching the conversation with Hawaiian Airlines. So I think that was our main thing with the Reddit. People were like, they couldn't fathom the travel. They were just like, dude, no way. They were laughing, at us. They were like, there's no way there's going to be a professional team here. Well, yeah. If you just do it normally, hey, Google search a flight from, East Coast to Hawaii, or Google a flight from West Coast to Hawaii, and then you multiply it by the number of players that you need. Well, yeah, of course you're going to get this outrageous number, and then hotels. Well, not if you have a airline sponsor, and not if you have a hotel sponsor. With one phone call, you can get discounted flights. With one phone call, you can get discounted hotel rooms. And also, those hotel sponsors can call their counterparts on the mainland. There's a formula for success for other soccer teams. United Emirates, they have pro sponsorship from an airline, right? QATAR Airlines, they're sponsored, right? Mm-hmm. Hawaiian Airlines used to sponsor a pro team here, so that's who we're going for.
And it's been done before. That's the whole thing. A lot of skeptics say, "Oh, this crazy idea, it'll never fly, it'll never happen." Well,
it's been done.
We had
before.
Team Hawaii in the NASL back in the 70s. Yeah, I think it lasted 3 years or something like that. And then we had the tsunami that lasted 3 or 4 years. That was in the 90s, mid to late 90s. We had a Hawaii tsunami, so it's been done before. But I think the biggest difference is that the soccer infrastructure wasn't what it is now. I mean, back then in Hawaii in 1970, when they had Team Hawaii here, or in the late 90s when we had tsunami here, you couldn't dream of Hawaii player making it all the way to a national team.
Not back then.
You couldn't dream of it because we didn't have the infrastructure. We didn't have the same coaching we have now. We didn't have the Waipio Soccer Complex, with 20 fields that are packed every weekend. We didn't have a lot of the things that we have now. Since then, what do we get? We get Brian Ching, that played national team, even attended a World Cup.
Bobby Wood.
You get Bobby Woods, who a lot of people don't consider from Hawaii, but he was a product of Hawaii until he was 12 years old. Then he moved to California and then moved to Germany. But he's the original product from Hawaii. We got Natasha Kai, won the gold medal also, and we have other players, participating at different levels of the U.S. national teams on the youth side, right?
So the talent is here.
We have Sunshine Fonts, that is the all-time leading scorer for the U.S. Women's Under-15 program. She went to the World Cup in Uruguay 5 years ago with the Under-15s. She's still, on the ranks coming up, and there's many other players from Hawaii that have made an impact here and there, that now you can dream bigger, but so we have all that. For instance, the latest player, Shando Hopiao, that was playing, he's a Hawaii born and raised player that played for, the Seattle Sounders, right?
Yes.
Unfortunately, he retired at a young age. Yeah, he realized that it wasn't for him. He wanted a different lifestyle, which everybody's entitled.
There's also players from HPU that are currently playing pro.
Yeah, exactly.
For the Timbers and stuff like that.
So there is a different, culture, different soccer ambience that we didn't have back when tsunami was around. We didn't have back when the Team Hawaii was around in ASL. So we can't compare it to what it was then to what it is now.
And also, we have this really crock-pot kind of idea to have it funded by the people of Hawaii and by the people around the world. Mm-hmm. And then if you have money in the game, then you can control the infrastructure on how it's built, which direction it goes, which direction it flows. Do you want your team to do this? Do you want your team to get this player? Do you want your team to travel here? Something as simple, do you want your team to wear this color uniforms? Something like that. I mean, it's something easy. It's hard for people to fathom because it's such a disruptor model. Yeah. It's like, all right, no, you can't do that. That goes against the grain of everything. It has to be a rich person owning a team and controlling it, or a group of rich people owning a team and doing the same old. This is something that we can do something for the first time ever in the world, and then we can see where it goes. It's an experiment. All right,
people
cool.
have a hard time understanding change or new ideas. I mean, when Miso started, that's why, that's what I got a lot of. Oh, you can't be doing this, can't be doing that. Why are you doing like this? Why are you doing like that? It's like, well, because that's the way it's done in other parts of the world. That's the way we envision things going, or that's the way that we believe it'll be the right fit for Hawaii. And people, oh, no. We always done things like this. Things have always been done like, and that's what people expect. What they've been, the same way they've been doing for years. Just like we're talking about right now. At Makani FC, we're looking at different avenues to make it happen, and people, they have a hard time understanding it. They have a hard time supporting it because they don't believe it's going to work, because things have always been done like that. But change happens on a daily, all around the world, in all different aspects of the world, of businesses and relationships, everything. The thing there's always change to it, and people have to learn how to embrace it and support it, and hopefully, be optimistic about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's easier to laugh at it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I laugh at it too. I mean, we're having fun with it, but it's easier to laugh at it than listen to it and maybe kind of, all right, maybe this has some something to it. I mean, they've obviously done their research. They've have some stake in the game here in Hawaii. These guys maybe have something. You never ever know who's listening to our podcast or our YouTube channel, right? I mean,
and the sad part is that those people laughing at it, because they think they know better. That's the sad part, especially if they live here in Hawaii. If they're laughing at the idea, because if instead of laughing, they support it and they help make it a reality, that's going to help everybody in Hawaii.
Yeah,
that's gonna benefit the sport tremendously.
It's gonna progress the sport of soccer here in Hawaii.
Because now soccer takes a different dynamics, locally, because you have a professional team. Now all those that might not make it, don't have what it takes to make it to the Real Madrids of the world, the Manchester United of the world, the whatever else you want. Now they have different avenues. Maybe a kid is not good enough to get a college scholarship, but you know what? Now you can stay home and be part of this program here. It creates local heroes also for younger kids to look up to. Oh, look,
visualization.
That's exactly
what Coach Meao was, coach for the Honolulu Bulls, was talking about on that conference call. Visualization. In Europe, you are an hour away from a pro team. That is visualization for a kid, right? You have kids growing up here. They don't see anything. I mean, it would be one thing also if they were playing in a stadium underneath lights every week against another PDP team, right? And they visualize playing under a stadium lights with supporters, with fans. That's something really needed here, is visualization of a brighter future, of some kind of potential, right? Progress instead of regress.
And we dream it, you have to give it a try. You cannot just dream it and not do nothing.
Yeah.
You gotta dream it, and don't laugh at those who are trying on their dreams. If that dream becomes successful, it's gonna help everybody. So instead of laughing about it, maybe encourage it or try to find a way
to support it.
Try to get other people involved. Try to do whatever it takes to make it happen, because that's gonna benefit everybody. It's not gonna benefit you, me, him, her, whatever. It's not about that. It's gonna benefit the whole soccer community.
I mean, why are we here right now? Why is Kenji behind the mic setting up for an hour?
Yeah.
Why are you here on the field sweating your butt off, having to change shirts? Why am I here?
Yeah.
Why are we doing this?
And guess what? If we make it happen,
awesome.
No, not just awesome. It's not only helping Hawaii. It's helping every little town across the world, across the country. That's like, if they made it happen, we can make it happen too.
Yeah. Oh, let me reach out to them. And then when we get the email, we're like, hey, we've been there before. We wouldn't mind helping you out. This is a template.
Exactly.
Hey, check this out. Which is something we wouldn't mind helping Javier in Spain do. He has a really unique goal of buying a tier 5 team in La Liga and doing something around this blockchain kind of technology. Yeah. A lot of the guys...
We came very close to that a few months ago. I think
you were discussing it with me, and it's a very unique thing for us to kind of scale up. If we have the ability to help out another team across the way, such as Fan-owned team in Austria, and send them our technology to showcase the ownership, that's what a lot of people on the Reddit thing, they couldn't understand. They thought I was discussing cryptocurrency. I was discussing the technology behind cryptocurrency, which is something very unique and transparent and it's immutable. You can't erase what we're doing when the people are investing in a team. If we were just doing this like, hey guys, just send me your money, send it to my bank account, cool. Can they see what's going on? Can they see what we're doing behind the scenes? No. The accounting ledger and the bank account is only for us to see, because we're the organizers of this corporation. What we're doing is we're showing the transparency of it. We're eliminating the corruption. It's very decentralized, very much a freedom tool or a democratized tool of the people that own a part of this team. So why can't we help out other teams around the way? This is going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
This is very
another
interesting.
thing that, since you're on that topic, another thing that I want to add to that is like, some of the comments is like they were kind of putting you down because they didn't see you as a soccer person, or who are you? Like, oh, you're only talking
chief technology officer.
People don't understand that. If you try to build a successful team, you can't have 11 Messis. You're not gonna win with 11 Messis. And same thing to put a business plan together. You gotta need people that do different things. That hey, we're gonna need some financial people. Some people understand. Marketing. Some people that understand the laws or what's needed. Some people.
Some trailblazers.
Some soccer, football.
Yeah.
People as well. You gotta need a combination of all. It can't just be a bunch of soccer people who don't understand the concept of anything, who don't understand finances, who don't understand cryptocurrency, who don't understand marketing, who don't understand law and legalities. If you get a team like that, then that team's gonna go boom, boom.
Yeah.
Here today, gone tomorrow, forever.
You have to have a little.
So you need to have a mixture of
mix.
different people.
Yeah.
So sometimes you guys hear Pancho talk. It doesn't mean he's talking nonsense. He's talking a different avenue that maybe you and I or him are used to, because we're thinking more like, what happens on the field, on the pitch. But there's got to be there's a whole bunch of dynamics that happens off the field to make the project happen.
Yeah, a lot of moving parts.
And every team has that. Real Madrid has it. Barcelona has it. I can tell U.S. Soccer has it, because they're more involved they're more about the money and the politics, and they involve about the game, interested in the game itself. I go to the meetings every year. I was like, you buffos me, but you need a combination of everything.
Yeah, I think we're just focused. We're extremely focused on making it happen, and which is why we're here today. Which is why we'll be here tomorrow. Recently, upon the finalization of our last podcast, we created a Patreon. You're more than welcome to hit us up on Patreon and support our podcast. And this kind of creates a unique revenue flow for us for the professional project. Once we launch our refunder, we'll be actually calling out on all social platforms, on our Instagram, on our Facebook, as well as refunder. And just to spread the word, to spread the message. Since our last podcast, we had more than 1,000 views. So about 1,000, 1,300 with all the clips included. That was super interesting, because it was probably about a year ago when you wanted to start, part of your bucket list for MISO was you wanted to start a podcast and you wanted to start a YouTube channel. So that was check for you, right? So this kind of just went all together here.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely check us out. Spread the word. Send a link to a little snippet of our project to someone that that might be interested in helping out. If anything, email us. Reach out to us. See what it's all about.
Help us out. Help spread the word. The word help spread the excitement about it. Join us on the dream.
Yeah.
Become part of help us have this dream that we all have. Make it a reality. It's going to be benefiting everybody, not just not just a handful of people. Especially if we have the owners are the fans, right? That's going to help everybody.
Starting a pro soccer team in Hawaii that's owned by the community, soccer community around the world, not only in Hawaii, is a sexy fucking story. It's a story that would be in Forbes magazine, would be in the Wall Street Journal, it would be in the Business Insider, for sure. Guaranteed. They would gobble that up, especially around...
In 20 years, they'll make a movie about this whole thing.
Yeah. Make a movie just like the movie that we filmed here at this complex.
Last Goal Ties.
Last Goal Ties. Last Goal Ties, not Last Goal Wins, with Michael Fassbender.